really the thing behind that was just their patience. They were so patient the entire time. They were not scared to show a little bit of face, back off, and really let SSG try and deal with their timing. And it really just came back to bite them. But as we do jump into Villa, we are going to start the bans off now, ladies and gentlemen, for map number 3 between Immortals and Spacestation Gaming. Starting things off with banning out the mountain that is Monte.
Second ban will come in the first for Immortals, I do believe. And their choice will be Maverick, knocking him out as the final attacker. Someone on Immortals side was happy about that. And so now, the last ban will come out, or someone from the other stream, but actually no, we don't have the other stream anymore, so it would have had to have been Immortals. First Defender ban, however, coming in now. This, I think, is going to be the more predictable one. Well, both of them might be the more predictable one. Mira is going to end up getting knocked out. Our last one probably going to be Echo or Maestro, but let's take a look, see if it's anything crazy, as it's Space Station. So actually, no, both are going to be left in. I was about to correct myself, but the game did it for me. Valkyrie once again, which means we have a lot of drones that are going to be alive for the defense, as Echo and Maestro have both been left in the pool for this map.
Villa being the new map to the map pool, at least. And it actually came in Operation Rebellum. It's been in there ever since inside of the map pool. So still relatively a new map. Aviator Room as well as Games Room going to be the first selection for the defense. That is going to be SSG. But the good thing about it being still a relatively new map is that there's still some very creative things you can do on it, finding new lines of sight and so on. So we'll see if that's going to come out by anybody. SSG actually going to lock in a Caveira pick right off the top. So biggest thing about Villa is going to be the basement for the roam game. That being a big deal just because of the fact that no one really goes down there. So we'll see if Rampy is going to choose to start things off in the basement, really what he wants to do with this Caveira. Also the offense, Cyber allocating to the glass.
Usual setup will come up here for these guys. Obviously we have the Mira banned out to the strength that it normally would provide on this site, primarily by looking into the study, which is the room on the bottom of the screen right now. It's not going to be available for this run, meaning that Immortals should have a much easier time starting the round off, getting themselves into an initial staging position, but this site still ends up being relatively difficult to attack just due to how closed off it is, and especially if your hard breach is denied, how much of a choke point it gets turned into when you are forced to assault it with minimum time left on the clock. Rampy, to not much of a surprise, is going to end up roaming around the basement to start. I don't believe he had any drone presence to deal with in the initial drone phase, which means he's going to be safe to sit down here, waiting for intel from his teammates or any that he might be able to gather from sound before he starts to make a push upstairs. And of course, look for that infamous interrogation if the opportunity presents itself. That is the big high-risk, high-reward trade-off of bringing Caveira to the table. And again, just explaining this for those guys who might be newer to Siege and watching. If you can take an enemy down but not kill them outright, if you go through about a 3 or 4 second animation on top of them, you slit their throat, and also get the free location info of every other teammate on the attacking team. I think it's for about 5 to 10 seconds, right?
Yeah, it's right around 5 seconds, yes sir.
And obviously that will immediately kill any plans the attackers have during that time, and often force a complete reset of their positioning.
Yeah, and Caveira's definitely made a resurgence back specifically at this LAN. So we haven't seen her yet in this matchup, but Rampy playing her now. As it does look to be he is in the China room, as he was staring at a brick wall. There's like, exactly where is he? I thought he might have been in the basement for a second, but no, he is just right off the kitchen over here by the blue hallway, red carpet hall. So you are going to be looking to him to have some roam presence. M-King going to find some bullets in the process of that, as it does look like they are going to start things off from the south. And he's going to catch the rest of those as well, as he will go down. That will be the IQ. So no real way of getting rid of those mutes upstairs, unless Bullet wants to do it more of a brute force way with the skeleton key.
Oh, we are going to see actually Bullet end up going down first. The Immortals are getting torn to shreds, seemingly out of nowhere. Redeemer and Rampy getting a Pokeball kill against Bullet. Already down to just PX and Cyber as the third kill was confirmed. So we're down to just these two here. Thankfully, one of them is a Glass. This is the first time I think we've actually seen Glass left in so far in the series. He was banned out in the other two maps. Toxic Eggs are going to move in. Bosco actually confirmed the kill onto Cyber with it. It's left just PX, the Thermite, alive. And while we haven't seen either of his exothermic charges get used here so far, he's probably not even ever going to get that chance, given the 1v5 that is currently set against him. 50 seconds left as well. So a decent amount of time to play with, but pretty soon he is going to be out of time and forced to make a move. Probably in through the 90 door, where he'll promptly go down. Actually, nearly gets the kill there. Takes him a moment, but he does take out Thinking Nate. There's the start, but again, time is his enemy here, and he is working against it.
Biggest thing for PX right here is the defense has to mess up in order to make this 1v5 for him happen, but everyone's just going to play angles at different head levels, so it's going to be quite difficult for him as he is going to dedicate a stun inside, but he is going to get found by Rampy with a pistol. Speaking of the pistol, it's going to be Caviera's pistol, the Legion, if I said that appropriately. But again, that is going to be the first Caviera that we've seen so far on this set between Immortals and SSG. And Spacestation Gaming starting things off right. We'll see if they can continue their reign of terror on this defense.
Really stinks if that the last player, if they go down, they just auto die. So
yeah,
we know we could have we got a free interrogation there at the end. I think might have triggered it, but not gonna happen.
I think everyone would have been very disappointed at us if we would have screamed interrogation on the last guy.
It would have just been us laughing more than anything.
You could do it on Zofia.
That's true. Yeah.
Down Zofia because it takes her forever and a day to pick herself up, but. Rampy going to go for the Caviera once again because it worked out quite well. He actually got an impact kill that last round as well, which was always a comical thing. Always a comical thing. I always love the ragdolls off of impact kills. They're hilarious.
Well, Rampy's going to stick with it. It seems to be a mainstay, at least for the time being, so we'll see how much impact he's able to find. He's already gotten 2 kills, as you said. He got the grenade kill and finished off PX on a Thermite. But, of course, with Aviator Games being won by Space Station, they're going to immediately shift over to the trophy statuary, the common second sight that we see almost every team play towards. After this, though, it's a little bit more up in the air, depending on the personal preference of the team, but it'll more than likely shift to in particular on the 2 downstairs sites.
Yeah, downstairs is more or less pick your poison. A lot of teams allocating themselves to kitchen, but always go over to the apps area as well.
5 seconds left.
Looks like Redeemer is going to be opening up some vertical angles in front of the reinforced wall they put on the statuary room. And that's just so that they can try and play some vertical angles on PX, trying to put some thermite charges down so they can either pop those off or possibly kill PX from down below. Both the possibility, unless that thermite charge is already going off. They're going to start things off almost the exact same way. Starting from the south into study is Navi's.
He's still going to be holding himself on the top level here as they, again, try to swiftly clear things out on the south side of the building. In the meantime, once again, we've got the Caviera waiting in the basement for her time to find impact here. Mainly just acting as the defender of it, trying to play off the cameras here, try and look for intel and a good location to move towards. Obviously, we'll see the open doors by the front. Knows for a fact that Immortals would have, or excuse me, that Immortals that would have moved in from there. Now can start to get into position to look to find impact on the Caviera.
Cyber and Navi's both poised to try and have an effect on this side. They're looking for an initial pick to decide which side they really want to take over. Thinking Nate, not the best position to try and combat that door, but I guarantee you there's a goon mine in front of that unless Cyber has already shot it. Navi's going to see if there is an ADS. And actually, his breaching charge, I thought he got burned out there for a second. There was a little bit of air in the ADS, but no, he will end up breaking that barbed wire. You're going to be wanting to pay attention to Rampy here to see exactly where he's going to try to rotate to, because right now it is kind of a stalemate between these two teams as Immortal stares down the barrels of SSG and Bosco specifically, sitting on top of the desk inside of Astronomy.
About a minute and a half left on the clock here for Immortals to work their way in. They're going to burn down the ADS as Navi starts to push his teammates in the left trophy room. Meanwhile, Rampy again, just watching flank essentially at this point on his lonesome. Knows he's probably not going to get a whole lot in his direction. Bosco will still be able to try and deny in the event they move into the trophy room without clearing him out first. So he's got control of Statuary, working, I believe, with Redeemer on the inside of this room, or possibly one of his other teammates. Again, Rampy finding position in the Memorial Room where he does have a slight hole into the site. Try and spot up top.
This has been a slow and methodical take so far by Immortals. Navi's finally going to find Bosco. That's going to be the smoke as the plant starts to go down by PX, but Navi's will be found in the process of that as Chala will find him. Cyber get one of his own as well. Things are really going to start to pop off. Trades coming out everywhere. PX will find one as well as Thinking Nade. And 90 hallway being held down by PX. PX, as he takes down Thinking Nade, will make this a 3 versus 1. Chala over inside of Statuary has 3 to find once again. He will down one, and he almost takes 2, but PX with a pistol will take down Chala. That'll be Immortals' first round. And it seems to be this might be a very, very hard-fought map between these two.
Much like we saw back on Border, which means we have a very exciting affair in front of us. But a good strategy for Immortals for the most part. remaining uncontested as they tried to move in over towards the Aviator Games side of the actual building. The Caviar are not actively roaming around the first floor to try and look for opportunities, so obviously when he fell back on the back stairs, there wasn't much else for him to contribute to, as by the time he actually had gotten back upstairs, while the Immortals had their entire 5-man team grouped up outside of Trophy and were able to just push everyone in one big group that could not be stopped once they got the diffuser onto the ground. I think at one point the smoke played by Bosco got picked off early in that fight too, meaning the toxic grenades were not able to hold them back, and even if they were, they still had about a minute and a half on the clock when they started the execute, so more than likely would have not run out the entirety of the timer.
And Immortals going to pick up the original catalyst that won them map #1. It's Ying. She does make a reappearance here in Villa, being played by Cyber once again. He had some success on her on border, which definitely in turn won them that map, at least offensive-wise, as they did make that adjustment. With the Thatcher later on to really help out their push with the Thermite as well. Really open the space up to where Cyber could really do what he wanted to do. I think that was their main issue on border. They're going to try and change that up already. This time they don't want to try and take attack timeout so early on to make that adjustment.
Well, again, the normal holes being opened up. The rotate hole for Redeemer to use to get in between Trophy and the astronomy room. He'll be playing behind that desk, likely. And in a moment, he'll be putting his evil eyes down as well. Set up for his team now as Immortals are quickly approaching the building with Navis once again on the Ash. Start to push and start clearing things out. No, seemingly here, but no, yep, Navis, excuse me, is going to start to drone things out for himself first, just to be safe. That's assuming he can jump into the window. There we go. So we'll start from bicycle storage into Memorial. And that'll probably be his route to start clearing things out on the first floor, too. The Caviar, if you haven't noticed, by the way, has been abandoned finally. So we do have Rampy back on the pulse. Still playing in the basement and looking for that intel.
Navis gonna jump back on drone. Rampy was looking to hop outside right there off of his cardiac sensor. So he did punch out the window at the bottom of red stairs, but as Ash did move, he does not want to try and dedicate himself to a gunfight against Navis this early on. Still plenty of time, and Rampy is the solo roamer. Beauty of Pulse being that you can actually find people's heartbeats through walls and floors, as you guys saw him bring out that cardiac sensor. So he can really dictate where he moves throughout the map, depending on what information he gets from that cardiac sensor, as well as the Nitro Cell that everyone loves those Nitro Cell kills with Pulse from underneath, as that is going to be basically what Rampy is trying to achieve with that Nitro Cell, as he will rotate his way up the pantry stairs. We're about halfway through this game. You guys are going to hear the telltale sign of the T95, as Cyber is trying to find a couple of kills over here from Master Bedroom. The slow, methodical push once again coming out from Immortals.
Being already at the gates of the approach to Statuary Room now, ready to move in if they catch a Legion over peaking once again. At the moment, not going to do it. However, we do have those Navis creeping up those red stairs, which could very easily pinch these players in. In fact, we'll move up, find a lineup onto Redeemer, and take down the Maestro early in the round. That eliminates the potential for the Evil Eyes to be moved and utilized as well, meaning they can no longer use them to delay the plant.
Thinking Aid going to be playing on the south side of the Statuary Room. Pretty bad spot as he is going to try and get aggressive on the Cyber, but they're going to rotate through the reinforcement that was blown open. Toxic Babes going off as Cyber will find one and Bullet. They take down Bosco in the process of that. Cyber, T'Challa, as it's going to be all left up to Rampy. PX will put the diffuser down, but as Cyber is going to hop down from upstairs, Rampy will take him down. Rampy has 3 defined and almost no health, but he is still breathing, so clutch is always possible, as he is going to be able to find M-King, but no, M-King will be able to kill Rampy, and yet again, Immortals will win another offensive round. 2-1 currently is the scoreline here on Villa.
There's some incredibly effective executes coming out for Immortals here, and again, it's because they're not being interfered with by any roaming presence that's coming out from Space Station on their defense. Only really one major roamer that's been moving around per round on Space Station at the moment, and he has almost never really found significant impact, except for that round that they won, of course. See what the Immortals have picked up. They've been allowed to walk through pretty much the entirety of the house on Aviator Games Room side, group up on the second floor, and then just directly push with pretty much a full 5-man unit. Even late flanks from Space Station have failed to find any effectiveness against Immortals, who is absolutely crushing it when it comes to the Statuary Trophy Room.
defense for SSG so far. They had one very, very successful setup, but other than that, really hasn't worked out for them. That one defensive round they won, there was literally no sign of life in Immortals. Really thought this was going to go the same way that Bank did. But so far, Immortals proving me wrong, which is a good thing, especially for those Brazilian fans out there once again. And if you guys are just joining us, if Immortals wins this map, they will punch their ticket to the final stage and be the first Brazilian team to do so since FaZe fell earlier this morning to Reciprocity. Reciprocity being the second team in North America to make it to the final stage following Evil Geniuses in the winner's bracket. It seems to me that they are going to rotate back over to the original side that they won on. Relatively the same setup, so we'll see the second time around Immortals will be able to combat this a little bit better. Navi's literally pre-firing absolutely everything, even the sky, as he has no regard for bullets or birds.
Pretty much here. Navi's also going to quickly pop open the window to the walk-in and start to take control of Master following this. He has drone presence to help him out. As again, they'll clear out the unoccupied side of the map, since we once again are back to Aviator Games Room, which is on the other side of the building right now. He will, of course, get spotted by the default camera that's probably being watched by Redeemer on the Maestro. Regardless, knocks it out quickly. And Redeemer actually looks like he's holding an angle here, trying to wait for that push to come out since he's holding on red stairs at the moment. Chala also helping out with to establish a crossfire from the back hallway.
Reloading, cover me.
Rampy's been doing so good on roam so far, and I think that the main adjustment for the offense is going to be M-King picking up the Dokkaebi. Definitely going to try and help them out. Speaking of helping them out, Rampy is definitely going to help out the defense here by taking down Navi's. Navi's thought he had that gunfight in his hands, but Rampy going to rip all hope away from him. Chala is going to stand on site. They really need to try and shut down this roam game of Rampy. He's been running rampant so far, at least, over Immortals these last couple of rounds, but Redeemer will fall on the red stairs. This bullet will actually be able to take him down. Second phone call going to come out, do believe, or Rampy just still has his phone going off from earlier. We could identify what M-King has left for utility. I would really appreciate that. Thank you, sir. That was the second phone call indeed.
Which actually was used quite early here now just to clear out roamers. So Spacestation once again fixing that problem that I was talking about in the previous two rounds. The roaming presence at least stalling out Immortals for a slightly longer time. However, Flashbangs now quickly moving their way in as they try to breach open the wall that leads into the weapons closet here. I believe the breach was unsuccessful. They're waiting for a wrap to come work its way back out into the hallway here now. That's what Cyber's got his eyes on, making sure that the 90 doorway does not get peeked. And if so, Bosco will be the dead man out of it, and not Cyber.
Impact trick coming out from the defense. It's going to be a thermite charge down, and Shaw's actually going to find someone. It's going to be PX. His head will get removed. Bosco going to get stunned out, and Cyber's looking for one of his own. Will he be able to find him behind bar? He sees the top of his head, but nothing will come of it. Rampy yet again going to rotate back and find Bullet. Cyber seeing what he can see inside of sight through the toxic fumes. Nothing to be seen just yet. They are still worried about Rampy from behind. He's been so good on this roam game so far as he wraps his way back around, seeing what he can see, and what he can see is Cyber's head. He's going to click it. Cyber will hit the deck. M-King going to meet the same fate as Rampy. We would have see him down the hallway. Takes him out as well. So Rampy coming up big on that round especially to put this to 2-2 and a tie here on map number 3.
Now this begs the question, are Space Station a one-site team here on Villa, only able to claim Aviator Games, or can they finally find some success over here towards Trophy and Statuary? Where once again, of course, they are going to be forced over to, since the downstairs sites are not too much of an appetizing option. Even with the 2 losses they've already suffered on the site, they'd much rather prefer to play it a third time and give Immortals another chance to go for their same 5-man execute compared to risking it out with a bottom floor hold.
This is really where rotation parameters can come back to bite you, is when you really can't play the other site too well, or the other team can counter exactly what you're trying to do on there. So far, Immortals really been able to counter the roam game of Rampy, but that time around, not too much success about that. Even though they did bring the Dokkaebi to try and counteract them, really only thing they found of that was Redeemer chilling on the red stairs. So they are able to take out Rampy this time around. I feel like they are going to be in a pretty good spot to win this. And this actually is the map that Rampy broke the kill record on before. 8-2-2 currently is Rampy for SSG, leading the pack over here with the astronauts.
So, usual reinforcement setup coming in at the moment here for SSG, as once again, open up that final wall to the left of Chala to act as a rotate hole for anyone needed to move to the inside of Trophy, since the desk allows you cover. It's directly below it there, next to Redeemer. So for the rest of the guys here on Immortals, once again, they're out on the board, and it would not be surprising if we see them go for a quick take over here into the study. And then as well, look to isolate out any roamers from SSG, if there are any on this site. And of course, move into position to go for that 5-man execute. Assuming again, that is the same thing they want to try and go for here.
Definitely seems that both of these teams warmed up at least. Aggressive plays are starting to come out from SSG once those Kandalas hit the floor. I noticed that a little bit earlier, and that is the one way to counter Ying. You kind of have to get to her before that Kandala gets off and flashes you. They're definitely not having too much trouble with her anymore, but that can always change up in the right context. Cyber will start on the north window here, but he's not going to find much of it. He decides to rotate over to his team. Looks like Immortals wants to start things off over inside of Master Bedroom this time around, as Navi will trying to find Rampy. The man has caused them so much trouble in the past. Speaking of trouble, wow, that was a stutter fest. Almost had a stroke there. Thinking nade, going to see Cyber in the window. He's going to be able to take him down. This bullet will catch a few of those as well.
Damage going in here now. That's with the loss of Cyber. Immortals will find themselves in a position that they're not familiar with on this site. They've had a very, very straightforward take 2 rounds in a row now. This time they're going to have to innovate a little bit more. They're also, once again, going to be trying to push their players in through the schoolyard side here. It's going to be Rampy upstairs, looking to deny that downstairs presence that Immortals are currently going for. It will force the Zofia, or potentially the Buck, back a little bit further into the building. And Rampy will continue to be able to hold on the inside of Aviation, waiting for the push to come in. Immortals, however, are starting to get low on time, approaching the 1-minute mark. As you can see, they have taken control of the Master Bedroom. And Bullet will be able to do a little bit of reconstruction with that skeleton key shotgun to open up the top side and try to force away any defenders that might try to trick and attempt to breach open this wall.
Checking for ADSs, and Bullet's going to toss a frag grenade over to get rid of these batteries. It actually didn't go off. Right? It might have fallen to the floor, actually, as another nade will come through. And it actually will roll all the way over into the tiny little hallway and do absolutely nothing. But somebody that will do something is PX, as he will frag out Chala on the Astro stairs. Navi's going to follow him up, see if he can see anybody has rotated just yet. Bullet going to catch a Toxic Babe, as he will immediately rotate out of there. Does not want to take too much damage. 25 seconds left on the clock as a phone call will come out from the Logic Bomb of M-King. Thinking nade staring down towards the Master to statuary door, as he will find M-King. Yet another kill going to come through as Bosco will see Bullet. Things starting to ramp up quite a bit as PX will meet the same fate from Redeemer. 1v4, Navi's all alone, 4 seconds left on the clock and not clutchable. So he will just try and find a kill, but it's not going to happen. Space Station find yet another defensive win.
However, this does send them down over to the first floor now for at least 1 round here to try and close out. Unfortunately, since it is round 6, it is going to be the only other round they get. They have chosen their poison, as you were saying before. A choice between 2 different poisons here. They've chosen to go with a dining room and kitchen site as the final that they will defend before we switch sides. But with the lead, they can lock it down with 1 more into their favor. They will end with a 4-2 leaving them only 3 rounds away from being able to close this series out and punch their ticket over to the main event down the street, starting on Friday.
Friday is going to be a heck of a day, man. Main stage is going to be absolutely insane. I'm so excited for it. I'm sure you guys are. We're going to be seeing a set of 5, maybe 6 faces, depending on if the coach will be there or not. I'm hoping so, but more than likely 6 faces of one of these teams on Friday. Indeed, one of them will square off against Empire over on the main stage, ladies and gentlemen. We just got to find out who it is. We will definitely know after this. Once again, ladies and gents, if you guys are just joining us, we cannot stress this enough. All of the Brazilian lives are on the line today, as Immortals is going to be the second one to tempt fate. FaZe already did, and they lost to Reciprocity earlier on today. That was 2-1, very, very close set. And FaZe just could not find what it took, as Reciprocity is going to move on and be the second team out of North America to be able to make it a main stage. And we're seeing if Immortals right now can be the first team for Brazil, but we will be seeing Liquid later on today as they also have a shot, as all of the Brazilian teams are trying to make a lower bracket run.
Bullet again making his run around. Just to take care of the outside default cameras really quickly here before he starts actually moving in for control by the main entrance. Again, more defaults to deal with. Just pops this open and actually again we'll bypass the main entryway. Starting to work over possibly the mudroom entry. Definitely going to be a bit of a risk to try to push himself in from there considering the proximity to the site, but this is also where we have a large amount of the people from Immortals starting to stack up and get themselves ready to move in at. It's more Bullet continuing to make noise all around the map, and it looks like he is finally ready to start to make some momentum forward on the inside of Master here in just a second. He'll have to drone for himself, which will take a couple of extra seconds. I don't think there's any actual presence up here, at least not at the moment from SSG, so it should be a pretty casual process for Bullet to waltz right in. We start taking some map control away from SSG.
And Villa is actually the most defender-sided map right now. It's at 60% for defender wins, and that is a little bit lower with, you know, playtime at least. But Kitchen Dining, the third most defended site, 50%, and actually Living Room Library has the exact same percentage, but it's only been played twice. So there's a little bit of bias in the basement sites there, but this is the third most defended site on this map, as they will move in from Laundry, and this is the usual take for this site, as they're going to have Cyber lead the charge, no longer on the Ying. He's on the Glaz. Bad news is Glaz's scope might be able to see through smoke, but it can't really help with Toxic Babe smoke, at least lung-wise. Impact Trick will try to go out, but I don't think it was successful, as we saw the screen shake there. Was it not? No, Cyber's going to be able to find Bosco, and I think this is going to be bad news for the defense here, as Cyber has full-on smoke everywhere, but he has been yokai'd in the process.
A minute remaining here now for our attackers Immortals to get themselves into the site and plant the diffuser onto the ground. Redeemer, the most recent pickup, as again, they just sit back and wait essentially for the push to come in from Immortals. They've done a very one-dimensional push so far. They have not been able to look for ulterior angles to take and fish out the members of SSG. The phone call is in, providing intel on to Picking Nade, but he's inviting them in. Yes, my phone's ringing. Come try and stop it. I am ready to take you down as he finds another kill with it, bringing Immortals down to just 3 left standing. Space Station now take the advantage as they have 4.
He really is taking the route of, you can take the ringing phone off of my dead body, as he continues to just let it ring. His Bullet won't make a rotate, but Rampy's ready for it. Who will win this gunfight? There's going to be a big deal. Rampy's going to win it. Yet another one will fall, but it's going to be Redeemer, and PX going to go huge as he finds 2, ladies and gentlemen. Navi's and PX, the last 2 alive, as the diffuser will start to go down. Navi's going to try and cut off the rotate, as yet another one will happen. Rampy going to go down, and will Navi's be able to clean it up? No, he's going to go over and stab Rampy. It's going to be a 2v1 with Thinking Nade, who has no health, and Navi's will be able to frag him out and find yet another offensive win for Immortals. That's going to be 3-3, ladies and gentlemen, here on Villa. What a close match so far.
Nice read from Navi's at the end, too. I think he gets a little bit of sound intel once he hears the jump outs, as he was already just on the outside. And attempted a good move to quickly wrap back around and into the main door, but it does not work out for the last man standing on SSG. So they will not be able to solidify their advantage at halftime. It is tied at 3-3, but we will still switch sides. Immortals now go on to the defense, where they will start Aviator Games, and Space Station, they will enter onto the attack now.
As said by Blue, swapping sides here. Big thing going to be Vigil not going to be played, and Vigil actually has quite a bit of impact on Villa, just due to the fact that his ability can go through floors, so he can't actually roam downstairs and show like his presence inside of kitchen or really anything on that middle floor. It can stretch up to the top floor, but it really doesn't have nearly the effect just due to the height ceiling of that ability. So it really has just around the same radius as Pulse does, but it just goes a little bit outside of that, where you have a very tiny effect on your drone. So really just depends on positioning and everything else along with that ability. But it does appear that we will be going to Aviator Games Room right off the rip for the defense of Immortals.
10 seconds remaining.
Again, emphasis on defending the 90 hallway here by PX on his Maestro, with the Evil Eye going down at the edge of it. The second one should be probably somewhere on the inside or in between these 2 sites, where he can still cause delay. Probably going to be on the inside of the Aviation Room here. There we go. Right by the nice little plant. That's where I put that second Evil Eye. So get into it for SSG. They've been led onto the field. In the meanwhile, we've got their players approaching it, and in a moment, they should be starting to move in towards the study.
Moving in towards study, indeed, is more or less just how you do in this map. Everyone usually starts over on this side and sees if they can really bait out any utility, if there's a Mira going to be played or anything along those lines. Luckily, Mira is going to be banned for this matchup, so not going to have to worry about that inside of study. The only thing you're really going to have to worry about is if somebody has any kind of mind to peek you from that door, because it does happen. It's a very aggressive thing to do to try and peek into study, but it does indeed happen, and it's actually won rounds off of that before. But their main take here is going to be 90 hallway. So they have to try and alleviate some of that outside pressure. It's going to be such a concern. So you see Thinking Nade setting up a drone, because I believe it actually just got shot off the bookshelf. But he's going to set a Claymore on the stairs and rotate back up to try and help out his team with a couple of those EMP grenades.
So once again, it is looking like Space Station will be trying to go for that straightforward push through study onto the inside of the site. Once more, trying to get as much intel right now off of drones, but pretty soon, as we approach the 1 minute mark, they are going to have to start to make their push a little bit more heavily. Thatcher tries to knock out what he can with the nades. But again, do bleed through the walls a little bit, so if anything's on the other side of it, that's more than likely what he's intending to try and take out of this. Meanwhile, Rampy will clear out the basement with his drone, start to work his way forward. See if there's anything that can be knocked out with the Twitch drone at the top as well. But he's much more focused on the battle that sits in front of him, using that F2, a very, very powerful rifle. Try and pick up some nice quick headshots here. But again, using the drone in order to get to the top first. There we go. He's got the spot onto the Jaeger at least, and moving quite literally as slow as he possibly can. They're going to awkwardly walk into each other, but he gets caught taking out a gadget, and that'll act as the perfect distraction for Cyber to eliminate him instead.
Timing can sometimes come back to bite you, and that's exactly what's going to happen to Rampy as he tries to pick up that Legion mine. But Cyber will be able to take him down as Bosco will rotate around. He wants to try and get a flank off late here. Chala, he's been doing so good on this Dokkaebi so far. He will make a phone call of death to Cyber, so he will be able to hear him through the wall. They've made a hole inside him. Chala's going to take a little bit of damage from the wall due to bandit batteries, but yet another phone call is going to be coming through as Navis will start to get the call as well. No more logic bombs for Chala. They will begin to be aggressive on the site. Again, that MK14 VR can do so much damage. Redeemer going to start to get the plant down, but they have to worry about the rotate. It's going to be taken down by Bosco. As this diffuser will go through. Redeemer been so good on the plant so far today. Very smart plays by him. He's going to be able to find one of his own. Navi's going to find one as well. Chala going to take down M-King. It's all left up to Navis as he will kill Chala through their own hole. Thinking Nade and Bosco, the only two left up for the offense, but a phone call still ringing in Navi's pocket will give not very much of a chance to him, as they will recognize out that he is still inside of Aviator Room. And they're playing the long game, just waiting for him to try and defuse, and this is when Bosco will move forward as he just tries to stick it, more than likely try and get the kill here. Is that Bosco? Bosco, thank you. Okay.
There we go.
I was waiting, I was like, is he just going to wait there the whole time? But no, Bosco will move around and he will frag out the man on the diffuser.
And so, as such, we will find success from Space Station on their first attacking round, taking control of Aviator Games Room. At the very last moment, they're just able to get their plant onto the ground, and as well, a nice little post plant for themselves. Not overextending, just playing on the outside of the site. They knew it would have had to have been a full stick there at the end, so it's an easy walk-in for the last run of Immortals to try and shut that one down. The rotation will still stay at Aviator Games Room, however, for the Immortals. They got very close to successfully defending that site, so once again, they are going to try it one more time before probably giving up after this one and moving on over to Trophy Statue.
So far, it has seemed that Rampy has come back from at least what happened yesterday in that Empire matchup where he was basically non-existent. Didn't really seem like he logged into the server at all. This time around, definitely finding some success. 9-4 so far, doing a very good job on that roam game on their defensive set and able to make an impact here on the offense. Only thing is, he did get taken down by Cyber that last round there, and a very unfortunate series of events. But as they do look to extend their lead here on this offensive set. Everything seems pretty even across the board, as you guys did see 4 kills split across 4 separate players, so 4, 4, and 4. As they will attack yet again on the exact same site, Aviator Games.
Once again, the starting rotation here for the guys on Space Station is probably going to look pretty similar. They took a very thorough way to drone things out in that previous round by making sure to check everything. In fact, so much so that we had Rampy actually coming in from the basement at one point just to make sure that he would fully check things out with a Twitch drone, and then he could come in from the backside there. Only to be killed by timing at the end, unfortunately. The Space Station wanted to have a nice pinch onto the site, but thankfully didn't end up needing it. So regardless though, we've got the Twitch drone right on the outside of the main doorway. He's just going to take it back over to himself here real quick. I think pick it back up so we can start moving in and clearing out some of these defenders.
Timing always going to be the most punishing factor for the offense, and that's exactly what the defense's job is, to take away from them. And so far, Immortals has done a pretty good job of that, especially on their first go-around of this site. But just did not really fall into their favor. As you guys see, it is 4-3 currently. A first defensive set by SSG. Just really couldn't find any success on their other sites. They're very good in aviator games. Statuary only worked out for them once, and their kitchen hold, not really at all, as they actually let the thermite work out. As the impact trick just did not work. Rampy trying to make a makeshift crawl hole here for himself, as he will dump a few mags at the F2 into the barrel wall down here in Wine Cellar. Double checks the drone just to make sure no one's going to try and rotate and grab him. He will start things off down here, trying to clear out a couple of roamers. But Immortals has been playing everything pretty close to the chest here on the defense, and it seems like they will do so yet again with another really tight defensive setup. Only one really off of sight here is going to be Cyber, as you guys can see him over here in the statuary room, playing close to Master Door as Rampy will drone up the astronomy stairs.
Yep, we'll catch that Twitch drone, taking it out pretty straightforward manner. This also means he's going to be wary of a presence from these back stairs. The second drone going to be coming up in a second, and again, Cyber should be able to deal with this pretty quickly. But no, the phone call will instead come in against Cyber. Doesn't seem to matter too much, though, as he continues to hold around the corner here. Rampy has gotten the spot. We did see the shots come out from Cyber, however, so it seems like he's aware that the drone has spotted him, and as such, he's fallen back to reset his phone and get ready for the probable impending fight against Rampy.
Things moving a whole heck of a lot slower this time around for the offense, as well as the defense. Not much rotation here by Cyber. He just plays his life, but things will soon ramp up as Navis will take down Redeemer as well as Bosco for SSG. M-King gonna follow it up. It's 5v2 already, and M-King gonna find yet another, ladies and gentlemen. Rampy gonna go down as well. Cyber will be able to take him down, and Immortals, a perfect round on the second round of defense for them.
A flawless round, seemingly, as well. Beautiful stuff, and for Space Station, once again, relying pretty heavily on that Twitch to clear out a back angle and then eventually pinch onto the site for them, but just not finding success with it, and as such, forced into a late execute. Obviously, things went a little bit better on the round before that previous one, where they were still able to successfully push into the site, but not even close that time. Shut out right at the doorway by Immortals, and namely that shotgun played on the 590. Like I said before, though, with the success being found here, now the guys on Immortals really won't have a choice. They'll have to move on over to Trophy and Statuary, where we normally see this situation rotate over towards.
Rampy gonna allocate himself onto a different gun here, as he does pick up Sledge instead of the IQ. L85A2 will be the choice for him. And a couple of grenades as well, as he does extend his kill lead, but really nothing else to show for it. He is now at 9-5 and 5, assisting out of his mind as well, thinking he's doing the same, as he will have 6 of those. But so far, everything seems pretty even across the board for both teams. Everyone putting in a helping hand. The defense of Immortals been a little bit lackluster the first round, but they are going to clean it up the second time. And SSG, more of the same. Things have really just been a back and forth, blow for blow trade here among SSG and Immortals on Villa, to see who can really break this back and forth. That's going to be the main thing. Who can link together back-to-back rounds? Because if not, we're more than likely going to overtime here on our final map between these two.
Especially with a new site being pulled in here as well. A site that we haven't seen these two teams go up against yet, in this half anyway. So there's going to be a lot of unknowns in the air for a few moments here, while Space Station take a second to figure out exactly how Immortals have gone for their setup. As far as I've seen, though, Immortals have a pretty straightforward defensive setup here, but the key difference that you can see on the other side compared to Space Station's version of this, is that Immortals are a lot more spread out. They have players still in the Aviator Games room side, most notably Cyber and of course Navis over there towards that site itself, looking to try and isolate out Space Station should they try and roam clear here like they've done in past rounds.
I think the main thing for me is neither of these teams have really flexed to Jackal, even though the roam game has been so effective by both of these teams. Really would think that that would come out. He's not banned. He's not banned at all, so I really don't know why we haven't seen that come out just yet. Rampy's actually going to send his drone inside of the fireplace, which does damage, and it's going to kill his drone. That nothing really else happened there, so that is why you guys saw that drone get dispersed there for a second. But SSG is already set up inside of the master area as well, so they're going to start going for the hard wall over here with their hard destruction of Redeemer. They do have Chala back on the Dokkaebi once again as well. If you guys haven't seen this entire matchup, Chala has been doing so amazing so far on this operator, and he's been rocking the SMG-12, which you don't see too often anymore either. Only a particular set of people still rock that secondary.
So it's thinking nade to open up the go over here towards Astronomy first. He's going to be assisted by Rampy, who has just found that opening kill against the Maestro, who unfortunately got stuck below, didn't even realize they had presence coming in from below, and as such got knocked out. The phone call will come in against Bullet and the rest of the Immortals here, but Cyber, it won't stop him. He's going to be able to find a trade against Rampy, bring us into a 4v4 with just under a minute remaining on the clock. Everyone from Space Station in position, ready to move into this side and start their push in for mainly Astronomy and Master Bathroom, but unfortunately just don't have the positioning just yet to commit themselves to that push. Unfortunately, time, again, will become their enemy here. They do not have the leisure of waiting this out and waiting, most importantly, for Immortals to make mistakes. So Immortals will just sit and wait for the eventual rush to come in here from SSG. As it is now, all three out of four of their players are going to be joined up in Astronomy. Bosco actually able to start this off well, though. Hobbies moves in, gets a tad too aggressive for his own making, and the same can be said for M-King. Peeks out slightly, gives away a peek to Redeemer, and as such takes him down. Immortals down to only 2 players left standing here. Bullet tries to take a fight unsuccessfully. Cyber, meanwhile, waiting for a peek to come out from this other side, but Bosco and Thinking Nade will clear things up, giving the round over to Space Station. Cyber to trade one back at the end, but it does not matter.
Again, it's all going to be about the team that can link these rounds together. SSG seems like they might be the team to do so, as once again they will take the lead 5-4, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be 2 offensive rounds in a row for them. Or excuse me, the perfect round was actually last round by the Immortals. Apologies for that one. But they will have the chance once again to attack Trophy Statuary Room, as Navi's is going to hit us with Lord Tachanka, ladies and gentlemen. That will soon be 6-picked, yes. Okay.
There's way too much delay on that 6-pick.
You really had to think about it for a second.
My heart started bumping.
He's like, do I do it to him? Nah, I don't want to do it to him. They can't handle that.
I was like, wait, do they have something for this?
Nobody has anything for
I mean, that's my. I'm in complete agreement with you there. Don't get me wrong, but
there's only been a very small amount of times that Tachanka has been played inside of Pro League. A very, very minute number.
Listen, man, it's 6 invite. You never know.
Hey, they really could just pull out. Imagine Evil Geniuses gets all the way to finals, and
someone's going to figure it out eventually, right?
Their god strat is just Tachanka plays on defense. That would be absolute madness. My goodness gracious.
Obviously, again, though, Tachanka, will be left out of the pool, and we will have to see success being found on the Bandit instead, as he 6-picks over to that PX, having a little bit of a problem trying to break the cabinet open and find a spot for his Evil Eye to go down, so he's just going to put it there.
The Astronomy Room's been kind of a struggle for them so far. They cannot go back over to Aviator Games until after this round, so they will have to try and fight through this once again. Last time, it really did come down to the wire in time, but really not to bodies, as SSG had quite a lead in lives. But a couple of adjustments that Immortals definitely could make, as SSG will start things off basically the same as they do drone out Master Bedroom to see exactly what they can find.
Very much a solidified style of attack that's going to be coming out here from SSG if the current group of players is any indication. All 4 out of 5 of them, and now all 5 grouped up together or pushed in through Masters. So we'll not be splitting this off. We'll not be trying to do a pinch like we've seen attempts to do in previous rounds, but it's for the most part been relatively unsuccessful. Instead, it's going to be all of them moving in together. The thing is, though, is if you look back on the past, at least in the first half, obviously things will be a little bit different now that SSG is on attack. Whenever we've gone into a big 5-on-5 engagement, 9 times out of 10, SSG loses it. I don't know if it's their communication falling apart in these big gunfights or another factor. But at the end of the day, Immortals always seems to have the edge, whether it's better positioning or, again, the communication factor. They always have tended to win these bigger gunfights. And this is a bit dangerous, in my opinion, for Spacestation to try and lead into a site attack that's probably going to end up in one of those big fights.
They got pretty lucky last time with the shotgun player over in the corner, as he actually did flip around just at the wrong time and ended up getting taken out from Master Bedroom. And Nabi's going to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, as Rampy will connect with him with a nade off of him playing Sledge once again. So goes for a second one, not going to make any contact. That's actually going to be the Bandit as well. So bad string of luck here for the Immortals, as their denial will go down. But they do still have a lot of players left alive and plenty of bullets in order to pull a round win out here. Bottom of the wall will get blown open, though, by SSG. They're going to start opening up angles into Statuary. Looks like everything take-wise is going to be relatively the same, as they have their eyes set on Astronomy, with Bosco leading the charge.
Again, we've got the lifeline charges. Unfortunately, both of the stun charges have been used, so it's only going to be the explosive ones remaining. Trying to bust open a few holes for them to use. I'm also getting incredibly low here too, but M-King, some unfortunate timing, has to throw a toxic grenade down right in front of him, which thankfully ends up saving his life in that situation. Just under 25 HP, he's going to run himself away behind the big statue inside of the statue room to try and keep himself in the fight, and it's Cyber that'll find the next exchange here. A few players from Immortals getting low, but they're holding their own. PX with a double kill pickup against Redeemer and Bosco. Bosco, during the process, able to take down Bullet. Down to just Rampy, along with Thinking Nade, who does find success in finally taking down Cyber. But with 5 seconds left, the diffuser will fall inside of Statuary, the smoke falling back and finally making its impact, and PX getting a 3rd kill onto the board. Immortals shut it down on their defense. The rounds continue to go back and forth and back again, now into Immortals' favor.
Round and round we go here on Villa like a carousel, as Space Station and Immortals just cannot break the curse of just dancing with each other. As yet again, we will see Aviator Games Room, which both of these teams have been very successful on so far. Both of them actually winning one on both of the upstairs sites. So SSG doing it back-to-back, eventually having to go to Kitchen, where they could not go back over to Aviator Games Room. We'll see if the boys of IMT will do the exact same thing here as they head back to the site they originally won. Here on the defense, biggest thing there for SSG, they really had the pressure that they wanted on the main room. They got the Bandit killed, they got the wall open, but just kind of lost sight of really what they wanted over inside of Astronomy. Tried to have a late push inside of Statuary to get the plant down in that 2v2, but smart smoke play by M-King will come out, and you'll be able to find him with an M590 kill, which really set the tone for the rest of that round and allowed them to win that.
We are back over here in the Aviator Games Room once again for the Immortals. The initial round was lost by them, followed up by a victory. The same procedure being taken just recently over towards Statuary and Trophy, where again, the initial confrontation was successfully won by SSG, but this time not so much, as the Immortals were able to close it out. Both Evil Eyes are going to end up going down on the inside of Aviation to start things off, and once more, we've got SSG out onto the board. Same lineup, I do believe, that we have seen from them when they've attacked this site in the past. Actually, no, this is a little bit different, I think. I'm trying to remember if the Zofia is new, as obviously we saw that used before on the Trophy takes. However, they did have a Twitch last time they were playing into this.
The Twitch is being played by Rampy the last time. He will actually don the Sledge this time around, so they will have grenades.
And again, I'm perfectly okay with that change. The Twitch, to be honest, wasn't really doing much, so.
No. And again, there's no Mira, so there really isn't any use for her except a gun, really. I mean, there's other utility that does her job a lot better. His name is Thatcher. He's being played by Thinking Nade right now. So, I mean, it's a lot easier to just roll a ball against the wall, get everything, or instead of rolling a drone in there that can be shot and have zero effect.
You could still get like a couple goo lines and an ADS, but those can be handled pretty easily with other methods as well, so it's not entirely necessary to bring the Twitch to the table, considering, as you said, the Mira's gone. Not even have a mute, really. It looks like on the defending team either, so it's not like there's mute jammers to take care of.
Yeah, overall, really just used for her F2, really, in these kind of circumstances. But we will be about halfway through the round here. SSG relatively looking the same on their offensive attack here as what happened last time, as they literally have everyone over here on the south side in between study as well as the hallway leading to 90. Standing at the top of the main stairs is literally all of SSG. There's 4 people on a drone. all within like the same 5 square feet, ladies and gentlemen. They're literally on top of each other as Navis will actually bandit trick one of Redeemer's X-Kairos charges. Chala is trying to take a peek inside of the aviator room, but so far SSG not really being able to find a foothold. Rampy's going to try and find one in 90 hallway. So we'll start to gunfight with Bullet over here on this end. And things are really kind of spaced out. They really don't know what exactly they want right now. No real map control handled by SSG, as Bosco will be able to find Cyber. That's going to be the Jaeger, and he's had quite a bit of effect here on defense so far.
Bullet is waiting for the peak to come down, but he's not looking at the top of the rappel, meaning this could be dangerous if he swings out too far to one side or the other. He's going to try to get the intel. I think he's seen the arm now. Goes for the spam, gets some good damage indeed. On to Rampy there. Oh, okay. Thankfully I didn't do that much damage. Oh, there we go.
Oh my goodness, that reminds me a little bit of...
I think we just had every other language commentator. Well, but 2 more kills are going to come up for SSG. 3 kills, in fact, for them, as PX is eliminated most recently. Down to M-King, stuck in the corner. He's found a first kill, though, brought it into a 1v3, and is allowed to get out from the corner. However, misses Redeemer just through the broken wall, and he will shut it down, giving the round over to SSG.
And that will be match point here for ladies and gentlemen. That'll be match point here for SSG. Ladies and gentlemen.
Technically, you were correct.
Yeah.
It is for the viewers.
It is for the viewers at the end of the day, isn't it? Yeah. But that is one special thing about casting group stage here, is that we have every language that is really around the world, really, that is a mainstay language.
Basically,
yeah. I was like, how do I want to word this, really? Because, you know, you don't want to exclude people. I mean,
when that impact nade hit, there's about 5 or 6 other casting stations behind it, so I just went, oh, at the same time. So.
Oh my goodness, that was fantastic. That was fantastic. M-King gonna move his way over to Echo, and really that is the cool part about being in the Siege community. There's just people from all across the world that love this game so very much. Lou and I in that pool, which is really, really cool. So we actually are gonna have a hard breach swap out, as we are gonna drop Habana and allocate ourselves over to Thermite, at least for the SSG boys, if you guys are rooting at home for them. Rampy at the top of the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen, across the entire board. 11 frags for him and 6 assists. We'll see if Space Station will be able to close it out here, or if we'll be going to overtime once again.
All right, folks, time to decide. Space Station, do or die time, and it is going to be on a site that they've already played towards before. In fact, it's a site that I believe they just played for in the last round, as it's going to be Aviator Games Room once again. Immortals, not a fan of plays. They're going to knock the models off the ceiling. They don't want to keep this.
It's Aviator Room. They don't want Space Station to fly away and win this. That's what it is. Yeah, you got to.
It's too powerful. They can't let them have them. Also, just visual clutter gets rid of it. That's the actual reason.
Yeah, that's the actual reason, in case you're wondering. It's not just all jokes and memes here, guys. We actually have some good information. Gosh, come on. SSG, though, once again, attacking the exact same site. I just really cannot talk today. Exact same site. Last time, Impact Grenade working out for the Legion inside of 90, but really did not have an effect on the round overall, as the rest of SSG just bulldozed the site and took over. And again, this is the site that the last time Immortals started off winning. So we'll see if they're able to extend, once again, this rotation of just winning sites over and over and over again. Back and forth they go like a carousel. It hasn't been broken just yet by either team, but we'll see if Space Station will be the team to do it. So they're trying to punch their ticket to the main stage right now.
Just using the first stun grenade to try and stop the trick on the other side here. That's why Bosco throws it over the top and aligns it with Redeemer's own breach. Hasn't actually triggered it, just as far as I'm aware. Yeah, it was waiting for the nade to go off. Here's the attempt. Can Cyber stop it? It's not looking like that's Cyber. Cyber wouldn't be able to stop it. It would be Navi's. Excuse me, that would have to stop it, and we will not see that be too successful. They did, however, open up the bottom, meaning they can now just shoot out.
Attackers have located a bomb
to reinforce that wall. At the same time, it looks like there's an evil eye on the other side too, trying to deny any opportunity to get close to it.
SSG slow and methodical, exactly like last time. Worked out for them the second time, but not the first. So we'll see if they can find it. PX having a hard time with a drone on his evil eye, but he will eventually get it here.
Squash that bug.
Yeah, squash that bug. As Rampy will go underneath. He's going to try and find some kills with some frag grenades. As actually, no, he is going to allocate for bullets instead of explosives, as he will choose that secondly, but Cyber's going to be able to find him from underneath. Will Cyber be able to find another one? No, thinking nade. take him down, and Navi's find one of his own as Redeemer will falter as well. As things really start to pop off here. 53 seconds left on the clock. Bosco will destroy a little bit of barbed wire as they start to warm things up.
Spacestation realized they've had issues with low time executes in the past though, so they've spent obviously the last minute and a half trying to get this wall open. To be fair, relatively unsuccessfully, but now they still have another 40 or 50 seconds to focus on actually trying to get through this door, and that's what the goal is for them right now. We do have the phone call coming out, I believe, on to the remaining members of the Immortals, and they'll have to force themselves through the primary doorway into the study. Bosco and Chala watch together on the other side, but they don't count Bullet. Bullet's allowed to get away with a free kill, tries to go for number 2, but Bosco is there for the trade. Quickly takes care of the bar, gets himself into the vault corner, where he can now go for the plant, but it's all on thinking to keep him alive at the moment. The drone moving in, did it get the interrupt off? No, it did not, but it did set up thinking nade. Still gets the kill regardless though, and no, he'll fall afterwards. Traded out by M-King. This goes down into a 1v2 for Bosco. Tries to line up the first kill, he's gonna get it. One more, it's gonna be him versus M-King to decide the round. As he approaches it, he'll jump on, start the counter defuse, he's sticking it, jumps off of it though. No full approach towards the doorway. He's gonna slowly crawl back down, and Bosco gets it done for Space Station Gaming. A massive clutch for him, and he is feeling it as we see Space Station GG close it out on the 12th round, the very end of regulation, punching their ticket into the playoffs and into the final arena.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, the third team, all North American teams going to the final stage here at Invite this year, but our Brazilian friends not yet able to find one of those tickets. Immortals will be sent home, ladies and gentlemen, sadly, after such a hard-fought match, and a tip of the cap to them, as that was an absolutely insane match on Villa.
Absolutely the case. 2 exciting rounds down to the wire in both of them as well. I think both those final rounds ended up coming down to a 1v1, and the post-plant timer, very, very exciting stuff, but Space Station win it both times. You said it, it came down to whichever team would be